You know, when I sit around and I think, no, Jamie's thinking again. He tried to make a 120 number system and failed at the math. Well, I'm getting better at that, but this is about, sort of an odd paradox when it comes to love. It's probably one of the strangest paradoxes. It's like a it's a very strange anomaly that, when I think about how the mind has an effect on the body through love, and how there's different, I guess you could say, levels of it. And when you're there, when you're in this sort of, a lot of people, they might try to romanticize PMO. I know a lot of them do it. But it could even be in a real relationship. And this is no mystery to Sadhguru. This is no mystery to, the other yogis. It's no mystery to even, the teachings of Dr. King either. But the lower sort of affectionate love, I'm not necessarily speaking against it, because I'm not saying it's not beautiful. It certainly is. But I'm not being a skippy about it either. There's just something about it, about, sex, and something about that type of, always wanting to be, cling on to another person. It's just kind of draining, I've noticed. And it's one of the weirdest paradoxes. It's like, it's kind of like, kind of like how we got to be a certain distance from the sun, and the sun is life from a certain distance. But if we're too far away from it, it becomes death, and if we go too close to it, it becomes death. But the sun, in the right distance, and this is nothing against the mighty sun. I respect all the hosts of heaven, everything, all the planets, all the angels, everything, the stars, the planets, everything. But it just tends to be a truth. It really does tend to be a truth. And it's just so odd. Sadhguru, he speaks about this type of love where you don't even necessarily need to touch someone, but it's very intimate. And, it's similar to the type of love Jesus taught. And it just makes me wonder, how can you have this real clingy, huggy, kissy, gooey, sappy, sexual love, which, don't get me wrong, is beautiful, and have something even more beautiful, which is eternal love? Now, I'm not saying necessarily it can't be done. I just don't know how it can be done. And this is a paradox that I've thought about many times. Because, even John St. Julian, who we have our differences, but I'm not, he helps so many children that I got respect for him. He talks about how does he know he loves his child unconditionally? Because if you took that child and you put him in a different family, in a different house, You do love everyone as a spark of God in a sense, but, you know, that doesn't mean that you tolerate everybody's bullshit. You know, I don't tolerate Logan's bullshit, for example. I hate his persona. I hate what he does, but I don't hate the man personally. But, you know, well, I guess I do hate him personally, but I don't hate him eternally. Right? I don't hate his soul. I don't hate his spirit. I don't hate his essence. Just his persona. But it just, you know what I mean? Like if that child, if it was in another family, by another name, you wouldn't love it as much as you do now. So the condition of you loving that child is relationship. It's like an inter-family relationship. It's sort of the condition. And the same thing goes with romance. You know, I know that a lot of people like to make that other person their everything. You know? Yeah, I've heard that song about how if you love someone and you're not afraid to lose them, you never really loved someone like me. Have you ever heard that? You know, I don't listen to songs like that very much, but I've heard it. I'm usually up in the air with my music. I listen to stuff like Mr. Blue Sky, What a Fool Believes, all that sort of, you know, Dreamweaver, all that sort of high, you know, in the sky type of music usually, but that's just the thing, though. And it's just such an odd situation to be in. That there's almost, they shouldn't have to be enemies, but they're almost enemies. Family love is almost an enemy to universal love. It's almost an enemy to universal affection. Right? It's material. And sometimes I just wonder, what is the balance? What is the line? How do you make that line? You know, anyway, because, you know, when you get into one of those kind of relationships where you just want to eat somebody up, you know, you just never get enough of them. And it kind of contradicts the more true, the more pure, the more unconditioned love where you just want to share the eternal existence with someone else, you know? I just got bit by something. Maybe that's my karma. I don't really care, though. But you know what I mean? And I need to think about that. Hope that was a bee sting and that it was not a assassin bug, because I just got rid of some of those the other day. Those are dangerous. I need to stop the video now, though. I hope y'all thought this was interesting and got at least something out of it. Peace. Even to the thing that bit me.